the CEO's wheelchair slid down the slope while he was walking his dog. At that moment, a large truck with failed brakes was speeding toward him. In a dangerous moment, a ferry suddenly descended from the sky, timely avoiding a major car accident. The CEO was mesmerized by this ferry who had fallen from the sky. The assistant arrived and was about to take the CEO to the hospital, but the CEO refused. He knew that he was terminally ill and there was no cure. When the CEO wanted to thank the girl, he found that she had disappeared without a trace. He had no choice but to continue to his fiancée's house. When he arrived, he saw the girl who had just saved him. It turned out that the girl was the fiancée's older sister. 15 years ago, the girl had been sent to the countryside by her stepmother. Fortunately, she was adopted by a reclusive divine doctor and learned magic. She survived by catching her master's phoenix every day for 15 years, roasting it like chicken. Her master, unable to endure her mischievous ways any longer, sent the girl down the mountain. When the girl returned home, she was immediately forced by her evil stepmother to marry the CEO, who was weak, sickly, and paralyzed. The girl, knowing her stepmother had bad intentions, firmly refused. Unexpectedly, in the next moment, the paralyzed CEO came to her home. As soon as the CEO entered, he was drawn to the girl who had saved his life. The girl also learned that her marriage partner was the CEO. However, the CEO had come today to cancel the engagement, because the stepmother had accepted a $10 billion dowry from the CEO. When the stepsister learned that the CEO was a cripple, she refused to marry him. The stepmother, unwilling to return the dowry, decided to have the girl marry the CEO instead of her stepsister. When the girl learned she was to marry the crippled CEO, she immediately refused the marriage proposal. She claimed that they were not suited for each other, the reason being that she found the CEO too ugly. Upon hearing this, the CEO was furious and demanded they return the $10 billion dowry. The girl, shocked by the $10 billion, immediately changed her demeanor, calling the CEO husband and pleading with him not to cancel the engagement. She claimed she liked men with disabilities, because then her husband wouldn't run around. The CEO, seeing that the girl agreed, told her to go to the civil affairs office to get the marriage certificate tomorrow. The girl readily agreed. However, the CEO required her to bring the $10 billion dowry the next day. Upon hearing this, the stepmother immediately stood up and asked the CEO what he meant. The CEO explained that the dowry was for the bride, so wherever the bride was, the dowry should go. The next day, the two went to the civil affairs office to take wedding photos, but the CEO remained seated in his wheelchair, so the photographer could only take half-body shots. The photographer asked the CEO to stand, but the CEO angrily declared that if he couldn't stand for the photos, they shouldn't get married at all. The girl, frightened, quickly used her magic to lift the wheelchair, and only then were they able to complete the wedding photos. They nearly lost a husband worth hundreds of billions of dollars. Afterward, the girl, wanting to help the CEO stand, claimed she could cure his legs, but the CEO and his assistant didn't believe her. After all, only a divine doctor could heal the CEO. What they didn't know was that the girl was the divine doctor's apprentice, and her medical skills were not inferior to her master's. Though the CEO didn't believe her, he had no choice but to give it a try. To his surprise, his legs were indeed restored. The next day, the CEO took the girl to an auction, and as soon as they entered, everyone was stunned. The stepsister, seeing that the CEO could now stand, deeply regretted her actions, and decided to steal the